Hey guys, so for this video, I'll be doing a review, ranking, and just overall talk of Girls' Generation solo material. Um, I got into K-pop basically almost 10 years ago, so I've been a huge fan of Girls' Generation for a very long time. They're my ultimate group, if you guys don't know. But obviously, this past few years, they're promoting more as solos than a group. And since I've been a fan for them since such a long time, I count Jessica in because they only have like 2 albums without her. So majority of their material is with Jessica, and so she is included in this video. Obviously, as you can see, she's right here in the center, and she is my ultimate bias, if you guys didn't know. So I'll be kind of talking a little bit about each album and each member that got a solo debut with a physical release, because obviously we've gotten songs from Yuna and songs from Hyoyeon, but we haven't gotten a physical release yet, and hopefully that does happen. I'll later discuss a little bit more about that near the end. So this is more of a chat review, and I'll rank the albums from my favorite to least favorite. So yeah, I kind of divided Taeyeon by herself right here because she does have the most albums um, compared to the other members, and then Jessica has the second most, and the other ones just have gotten just one release. So let's start with Taeyeon. And I remember I made like a video ranking as well, I think 2 years ago. But I want to do an updated version because we got finally a solo debut from Yuri and then more solo releases. So we got her debut mini album. I think this is probably the strongest one out of all the debuts in my opinion. It screamed Tan, and just really good album from her. The good thing with Taeyeon's albums is that she seems to be experimenting with every mini album from what I've kind of seen with every release. This one's more of an R&B ballad type of album, so if you're more into that genre, you're gonna really like it. The songs in here are really really good. There's no skips in my opinion. I think we deserve the music video for "You Are," and that song actually did really well on its own. But just such a great release. Each song flows well with each other, so highly recommend listening to this one if you haven't. And then we get Why. This one I actually did not particularly love every single song at the very beginning. It took me actually a few listens in a kind of, I guess, like a year of getting used to this, the B-sides in this, but I actually like it a lot more than I did when I made the video 2 years ago. But Why is my favorite song that she has as a lead single. But this screams summer, and it's a dance album, which is kind of unexpected from Taeyeon. It wasn't the most successful work that she put out as a solo, especially because I don't know, maybe the Korean audience just kind of prefers Taeyeon more towards the ballady and R&B, more vocally side and more toned down. But I actually really enjoy this after giving it more listens. So this is a great summer album from Taeyeon, and Why is such a great song. And these pictures, she is killing it. I love the music video for it. It's so cute. And then we got this. It's not necessarily labeled as a mini album, but it is a mini album. It's just more of a Christmas special album, like a surprise for the fans. this is probably the least memorable release in my opinion. Uh, the title track is really pretty. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the lead single, but the other songs don't really do much for me. Um, it's just, I don't know. If you love ballads, you probably love this album, but I'm very picky with ballads, and Taeyeon does a really good job with anything that she's given. But I can't really say I remember like and any of these songs, if I'm completely honest. Um, but still a good surprise and gift to the fans. Um, like when I heard she was like going to release this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, and I was expecting like really R&B ballads, and obviously they're not. They're more just pop ballads, and then you got like cute songs throughout it. Um, and she does like, it's more of a darker wintry thing that she has going on here. But great effort for the fans that love her, this style from her. This one just not my favorite thing, and obviously most Christmas releases are not my favorite, so it's not really trying to drag her. And then we got Taeyeon's newest release in Korea so far. Okay, this one is probably the most experimental I've like kind of heard from her. Like something new is a really unusual title song that for her to do. I enjoyed it. The best song in here is Circus. Like I think it's like most of ones like Circus the most. And it's still it's like a mix of, I don't know. It's just like this is just an experimental type of album in my opinion, especially because of the title track they selected. But again, it's not my favorite. Circus really like shined for me in this album, and she looks absolutely stunning. Like all the photo books for Taeyeon are really pretty, but I think her actual Japanese single and her B-side for it were much better than this, and I really want to get that, but it's like super difficult to get. And I'm really, really looking forward to like music from like a physical official release that she has, not just exclusive in Japan, because that video and that song Stay, I think that's what it's called, the other one were really, 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 really good. It's probably like amongst the best songs released this year, 2018. And the holy grail of Girls' Generation Solos, Taeyeon's first studio album, the deluxe version. I know. I really like. I really want to have like all like three versions of like four versions of this, but like I honestly like don't have space for that, and thank God I waited, because I had like a gut feeling that she was gonna do a repackage, and I know SM hasn't done repackages for their female artists in a while, well excluding Red Velvet's repackaged with Bad Boy. They haven't done it in a while. Even with Girls' Generation, and especially with Solos, like they haven't done that. But I had a gut feeling that they were gonna do it, because they had what's this song? They had 11:11 released, and I was like, well, you have all this like big song. How are you not gonna include it in an album? Which really upset me. And when I saw that it was included in the track list for this, I was freaking out. But this one, from beginning to end, pure perfection, is probably the best solo album from all the like female artists that come from a group. It's like we got in like what? We got in like Luna, Amber, and obviously other Girls' Generation members. This album, so good. And I highly, highly recommend listening to this and the song Fire. Oh my gosh, that song should have been the title track. I absolutely love that song. And till this day, I wish I still had like a music video. But every song that was selected for this, like, there's no fillers. It has 17 tracks. Like, I absolutely love this album. It made me so proud. I'm glad she waited. I think she really had like, okay, so when they released I and then Why, I was obviously massively successful, and then Why was, successful but not as huge as this one. And I think they were kind of seeing what route and what really fit her the most. And I think that this album title just is perfect. It's like everything about this, like I completely love, because obviously she's sitting in my voice, and I think Taeyeon has such a special voice among K-pop, because obviously she's a great singer, and there's many great singers technically in K-pop, well trained, but very few singers can sing with their emotions and really touch you. And I think one of the ones that channel that the best among all of K-pop is Taeyeon, and she's really, really well known for that. And that's why you give her any song, she does an exceptional job, and she did that with this album. And like, my voice, like what more can you say? Like, we know you're perfect. So I'm really excited. I hope the next album is a studio album. It was rumored that it was going to be a studio album. I am like at the edge of my seat, because I am like kind of like ignoring a lot of groups right now, and I don't even listen to that many like K-pop albums anymore. Very exclusive, and I am just waiting like anxiously just to hear an announcement like Taeyeon comeback confirmed, like this date, and I'm just gonna be super happy. So as you can see, like this is gonna be my number one overall. Like, this is amazing. There's two versions for the deluxe edition. I think the photo book is the same. And there's two versions, the regular edition, but the photo books are different. But I highly recommend just getting this one, because it has like a bunch of songs. And there's like what? Well, you get Fine, and then 1111, and then Make Me Love You, and then there was like a lyric video for Cover Up. But absolutely very, very proud. And one thing I love, as you can see, they all are the same size. So A+ for SM for keeping up a consistency, because when I put these on my shelf, and I have a special shelf for Girls' Generation, which is actually getting filled up, so that means I need more space, and I might have to like move another group just to put more stuff for Girls' Generation. Yes, so absolutely very proud of Taeyeon. Out of all of them, she has the most solid career, and obviously she has the most success. So all right, let's move on to Jessica. So with Jessica, I kind of have like a love and hate relationship with her music releases, and I'll kind of get to it like, well, now. Great debut. This mini album, like, it has no skips. I wish there was a track list, so I can like tell you like which songs are my favorite, but all the songs in here are really, really good. They fit her so well. This album is very summery, and it's not all up in your face like Why. and the photo book. Oh my god, I'm just gonna open this, like, because this is probably the best packaging out of all of these, because you get this box and then obviously all this information, and then the photo book, which is the same size as this, well, almost. Do I have the photo card in here? I think I took it out. But this photo book, like, she has the one with the best photo books, and this is me being unbiased, is Jessica, like, queen of photo books, because the shots in this are really good. Is there a track list on the back of this? Oh, yes, there is. Okay, so you get Fly, Dear Diary, which is like a ballady song, Golden Sky, Love Me the Same, which is another like promotional single, I guess. But I really recommend Falling Crazy in Love. That's like my favorite B-side from this. And the song Fly is really cute. Like, and yes, so very cute album from Jessica. Very summery, but not like dancey. It's just very laid back. Which is like why you can listen to this album like kind of like whenever. While when you compare it with something like this one, which is like very like summery, very dancey. This one you can play like anytime throughout the year. It's still her best release in my opinion. And yeah, really pretty packaging, and highly recommend getting this. I'm glad it did really well physically. Alright, so next release from Jessica, Wonderland, which basically looks like a fairy tale book. And again, really pretty photo book. Like, you cannot deny, like, she takes the best pictures. And then you get a really interesting kind of story right here, which I haven't read yet. This is the photo card I got. Yeah, very pretty, and it was released during the winter, so this album definitely beats Taeyeon's Christmas album. But one thing I would say, like, there isn't really a progression with her in terms of like her releases. This one, I would say these two are her like best work yet. This one's more dancey, so this is kind of like, it's kind of really strange. It's like a dancey like winter album, which is really unusual because most of the time K-pop artists release, you know, ballads and all that, and then very few of the times that the albums are really dancey. And this one is way more upbeat than this one, which was released in the summer. So talk about contrast. The songs right here are pretty like standard. They're not like I wouldn't say the best songs, but not the worst songs. And depending on my mood, I really like listening to this. Wonderland, I think, is a cute song. Again, like she's not doing anything too out of the box. She plays it really safe with these songs, and she does have like English versions of these albums. And then we have Jessica's My Decade, which is her album kind of commemorating her 10 years in the industry, and it was released around the same time of the 10-year anniversary of Girls' Generation's debut, so it was a cool thing to have. This is probably my least favorite release from her in terms of like music. The songs just really don't do much for me. This one really sounds like a Christian pop album, like, just being very honest. And I think back when I used like Google Plus, like, this sounds like she just plays it very safe. Oh, here's the photo card that I got. So obviously the photo book, like, amazing. Like, again, best photo book awards go to Jessica. She wins all of them. But musically, this album is not a progression. I would say it's a little bit of a step back from her, and she does partake in the album, like writing and like production. And I wish she kind of just not necessarily write all of her songs, but kudos to her for, like, being so involved. Like, that's what I really enjoyed about Jessica Solos. Like, you can tell like everything is goes through her, but I do wish she kind of took a risk, because okay, a few like months I just saw that she did a cover of Ariana Grande's like Dangerous Woman, and she did a wonderful job. Again, she did another cover of How Deep Is Your Love. She did a wonderful job. Like, she can do things that are more risky, and I think it would go so well with the fans, because I don't know, I feel like it's getting a little bit old with like these, like, playing it safe. And if she's performing those songs in her concerts, like, well, if you're willing to do them at your concert, why don't you do an actual musical release for it? So, like, with that type of style, because the fans eat it up. Like, whenever Jessica does anything like that, like, she just hits it off out of the park. So, I just wish she took a little bit more of a risk. But this is her weakest release. And then we go with Sohyun. So Sohyun's Don't Say No. I don't really like her hair for this cover. I wish I would have picked like a better photo. Like, there's so many better photos in this. Oh my gosh. For her. So this one is an interesting release, to say the least. Very solid. I really like Don't Say No. Like, vocally, like when she played live, she did so well. Like, but the thing with Sohyun is that I don't know, this album, like, I don't really remember too much from it. It's a little bit forgettable, except for like the title track and like two other songs in here. It's still a good album, but I don't know. Like, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with her, especially because she's like so versatile. Like, she can really dance really well, and she can sing well, and she has a lot of stamina. So, I can't really comment too much on this one, because like, I don't. Aside from the title track, I didn't listen to this one that much. But it's mostly because of it's not my cup of tea when it comes to the musical genres. Like, with the overall sound. Then we have Tiffany with I Just Wanna Dance. She is like planning to release like a mini album or something like early next year, so really excited about that. So we're getting another Tiffany solo, and she's like partaking in the album production like Jessica, so kudos to her for being involved. This one is probably one of the most cohesive albums out of all of these. The songs flow really well. I really like I Just Wanna Dance, and yeah, like, very, very good album from Tiffany. It's very Ariana Grande-esque, like, circa I would say like the like for her first and second studio album for Ariana Grande. Like, it really reminds me of that sound. So yeah, like, solid effort from Tiffany, and the photo book is absolutely stunning. Like, Tiffany did a good job with SM did a good job with like picking the photos and all of this. So really, really happy with Tiffany's first solo. I'm not too fond of her newer stuff, but hopefully, like, it gets better. So I feel like she's trying a little bit too hard at like being marketable in the like American market, but she's so squeaky clean, so I don't know, like it doesn't I don't resonate too much with it, because she like her image was so squeaky clean with SM. So I don't know, like if I'll ever get over that, but yeah, this one did. It was just well executed. And then the last one so far is Yuri's, and which I'm really proud of her. And obviously she had the darkest debut out of all of them. Well, when it comes to concepts. So actually, I really like her debut song, and the other songs in here I actually really enjoyed. And yes, I hope she gets another opportunity. She had the lowest album sales out of all of them. Obviously, she's not the most popular Girls' Generation member, but I'm really glad SM gave her the chance to, do a solo. It is one of my favorite title tracks as well. And yeah, so let me rank these albums from my favorite to least favorite. So number 1 goes to Taeyeon's My Voice, and number 2 would go to Jessica's With Love J. So let's okay, and then third place goes to I, and then fourth place goes to Y, and then I would say, and this is overall album quality. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth place would go to Tiffany, just because she has a more cohesive album. And then I would give it, next place would be to Yuri. Then it would be Sohyun's Don't Say No. Jessica's Wonderland. Taeyeon's Something New. Jessica's My Decade. And last place would be This Christmas for Taeyeon. So Taeyeon has the best and my least favorite album. Obviously this one's not, it's more of a seasonal type of thing, so I would not listen to this that much. But as you can see, Taeyeon kind of took the crown with the best releases in my opinion. But everyone has their own preferences, so you might like more albums and certain albums more than the other ones. But so overall, Taeyeon kind of wins. Obviously she has more releases, but I feel like she has shown the most evolution. Well, obviously, because she's the only one that really seems to be getting more songs. Because Tiffany, she's had her solo digital singles, and I don't really see a progression for her. And that's just being really honest. Jessica has been on the same scale. She has not really done much. And then Yuri just started. So let's put all the albums in here so you can see them, and this will probably be my thumbnail. Let's see. So yes, this is my video for my Girls' Generation solo album ranking and discussion. Obviously, I'm very, very proud of all of them. They've done a magnificent job as solo acts. Obviously, with the experience of being a girl group and all that, has really solidified their stage presence and all of that. So what I want, obviously outside of these girls, I really want a solo from everybody else. Stu Yang just announced a digital single, and it's a ballad, so I'm like, oh wow, like this is probably gonna get like totally ignored by like no non-so ones. But a release is a release. Maybe it's like really good. So I really want a Sunny solo debut. If and then obviously the other girls as well. I really want the girls that are left to have at least one physical release, so I can have them all together. Next year, I really want a studio album from Jessica that's a little bit more risky. I know Taeyeon's studio album is going to be really good. I just have a good feeling that is. I'm just so excited for it. And then I want another release from Taeyeon in Japan. And what else? I hope that Tiffany's stuff gets a little bit better, because her material is mainly in English now, it seems. And yes, and then maybe if there's a possibility, have Sohyun release something else. But I think she's focused more on acting now, and I don't think she's gonna go more on the solo music route. If anything, she's just probably gonna prioritize any musical release with the girls as a whole, as an 8-member unit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was really long, but I was like kind of organizing my albums, and I wanted to make a video just for them. So check all these albums out. They all are really different, so it's gonna cater for different musical tastes. Their musical releases are not the same as their Girls' Generation sound. Like they're very actually catered to each of them, and SM has been doing a really good job with that. So don't expect these albums to sound like Girls' Generation albums. They really sound like each of the girls, especially when you know them like personally. Well, not personally, but like, you know, individually through, you know, their dramas, variety shows, etc. It just fits them really well, like a glove. And yes, I'm really excited, and hopefully we get like another like an actual physical CD from the subunit, and maybe a Girls' Generation comeback when all the girls can schedule it together. So yeah, check all of these out, and yeah, all right guys, bye.